Hi, welcome back to Movie Review Mom. I'm the mom and I do the movie reviews. And I've been out of the country on vacation. And so it's been a while since I've posted a review, but I'm back. I went to Iceland to see the famous Aurora Borealis, which was amazing. And then I went over to Amsterdam. I'd been there before, but it's always fun to go back. It's a really beautiful city. And I've been recovering from jet lag, and now I finally have time to watch movies and catch up on all of my reviews. So today, the movie I'm reviewing is called Eternals. So this superhero addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe is now available in theaters exclusively. It's rated PG-13, and it's a long one, 2 hours and 36 minutes long. So let me give you an overview in a nutshell. I'll point out things I liked and didn't like, offer tips for parents, and even some recommendations for other movies that I think you might like as well or better than this one. So first, in a nutshell, receiving the worst Rotten Tomatoes scores of all the MCU movies, this new addition to the franchise is kind of disappointing to some fans. Many are questioning the existence of this movie at all and what it adds to the MCU. Good question. The superhero film is written and directed by Academy Award winner Chloe Zhao, based on the Marvel comics by Jack Kirby. So she won an Academy Award last year for the beautiful film called Nomadland, and which I loved, and I did a review of it. So be sure and catch that one if you missed the movie. So people were expecting very big things from her with this film. So here are some of the things that I really liked. First of all, who doesn't love Richard Madden? Fans of Game of Thrones will also be thrilled that Kit Harington is also in this movie. They both do a great job. They both play love interests, which is entirely believable. And they're both really good. Also, Lauren Ridloff, she's one of the Eternals and is a deaf actress who uses sign language in the movie and has some of the best speed visual effects that we've seen in quite a while. She won Miss Deaf America in the year 2000. So that's pretty cool. And she makes a really nice addition to this group, this entourage of superheroes. The diverse cast looks great and also includes Gemma Chan, who gets a lot of screen time in this movie and does a very good job. Angelina Jolie, Salma Hayek, Leah McHugh, Brian Tyree Henry, Ma Dong-seok, Bill Skarsgård, and Harry Styles, among many names. But those are some pretty good names, and it's a nice cast, I think. Kumail Nanjiani stuns everyone with his newly buff body, and he's the one who provides the bulk of the comic relief in the story itself. His Bollywood dance number I thought was super fun, and his facial expressions were extremely entertaining. He made me laugh out loud, so yay. He has completely transformed how audiences are going to see him from now on. I almost didn't recognize him. It's that dramatic of a change. I haven't heard anybody suggest that what he did was plastic surgery or anything like that. It looks like hard work in the gym and good nutrition, but I don't know. But he does look amazing. The colorful film is just beautiful to look at. And what Chloe Zhao does very well in all of her movies is give us plenty of moments of stillness where the movie slows down and we're able to really enjoy the landscapes. Now, for an action movie, that can be a flaw, but for an action movie, it could also be a nice respite to kind of take a breather and enjoy what you're seeing in the movie. There is some humor in the movie, and I always appreciate that. There are also some twists. There are several twists in this movie. Some of the action sequences and special effects are pretty cool, and that, which is awesome because you expect that in a superhero movie, right? People love superheroes who are vulnerable and have weaknesses, and this group of Eternals is filled with flaws. So if you're looking for vulnerability, here you go. Now, there were some things I didn't like. First of all, there's a lot of bouncing back and forth in time that could confuse viewers. There's a lot of action sequences that look like they were designed for video games, and so they look kind of fake. And so that was disappointing for me. Not all of the Eternals get equal screen time with fleshed out backstories. There are too many characters to cover in the allotted time, even though it is a long movie. And so this could have actually been better developed as a Disney Plus series. And they have pumped out some pretty successful Disney Plus series along these lines. So just a thought. And maybe they have that in the plans and I just don't know about it. I don't know. There are some references to Superman and Batman that kind of seemed a little inappropriate and even disrespectful to DC comic fans. And so I was kind of shocked when they did that. This is ultimately one of those movies that you'll probably want to watch, especially if you're a Marvel fan. However, you may not want to watch it again and again, like sometimes we do with Marvel movies. In other words, once is kind of enough for this film. Marvel fans are saying that it doesn't really fit into the franchise. However, some viewers are saying that it's refreshingly different from all the other MCU films. Refreshingly different could be a good thing since a lot of moviegoers currently are experiencing superhero burnout. And then other than the brief mention of Thanos, you wouldn't necessarily know that this is a film that's part of the MCU. There's so much world building and mythology that needs to be explained that you might either just get confused or just not care anymore. And I kind of feel like I can relate to that. Not all of the one-liner quips are actually humorous. You can tell they're trying, but it doesn't always land. And we don't always get to learn about or even see much of the deviants. Some people were really disappointed by that. They're like, what's up with the deviants? You know, they're the monsters, they're the enemies. And a lot of time is spent really building these characters and their backstories and stuff like that. There are some action sequences, but we've seen better, honestly, because of so many characters and timelines. The movie often feels rushed in its storytelling, and despite its very long runtime. Now, let me give you some quick tips for parents. First of all, there's lots of superhero violence, as to be expected. The deviants, or those monsters, could scare young children. There is some sign language and other languages that are spoken with subtitles that you have to read to know what's going on. People and creatures often die violent, brutal deaths. There's an LGBTQ plus representation and kiss in the film. And in fact, this is the first time that we actually have a sex scene in a Marvel movie, although it's short and handled delicately and discreetly, I would say, without a lot of bedroom action and skin and clothes flying and stuff like that. Just that we see superheroes, you know, going into the bedroom, in other words. There are some themes that are positive that are illustrated well in the movie. The biggest one that I picked up on is a line that's spoken by Sprite, who's played by Leah McHugh. And she says, remember who you are. Whether you're a superhero or a regular person, remember the powers within you and remember what your standards are and who you really are, kind of a thing. Other themes are hope, betrayal, and trust, humanity, and just being a human, love, and following your heart. Now, I always write down funny lines and interesting lines, and I guess I was really busy watching the movie. I didn't write down any interesting lines, although there are plenty. But one of the funny lines, for some reason, that just caught my attention is when Kingo, played by Kumail Nanjiani, is looking out at this barren wasteland, and he's talking, and he says, "Hey, who's your gardener?" It just made me laugh. I don't know why. All right. So with all that said, we want to know what my movie review mom grade is for this film. It's a C+. I enjoyed it. However, I immediately recognized there were some flaws, and it's definitely not one of the top Marvel Cinematic Universe films. So people have been disappointed by that. But let me give you examples of two MCU films and tell you why they're at the top of my list. First of all, Guardians of the Galaxy. I love their story and their characters. And the reason I'm recommending this today is because with the Eternals, we're being introduced to all of these new characters. And if you're not a comic book reader like me, I was completely unfamiliar with all of the characters in Guardians. I had no idea about anything about them at all. Never even heard of them until the movie came out. And instantly, I latched onto these characters. They were immediately fleshed out. I fell in love with each one of them for different reasons. And the storytelling itself was fun. And when I was finished watching the first movie, I could not wait for the next one because I wanted to watch them and learn more about them and see what else they were going to do. Now, that's a different feeling than what I had with this movie, Eternals. I was like, I still don't really know who you are. I see that you have this one flaw. I don't know if I care what you do in the next movie, kind of a thing. Another one is in the MCU is Ant-Man. Instantly in this movie, a very few characters, you're able to latch on, fall in love with characters, and kind of get a kick out of them and want to see what they're going to do next, right? So those are two examples of MCU movies that I thought were fabulous. Now, I've enjoyed every single one of them. I'm a huge Marvel fan, and Marvel has really crushed this formula. They really know how to make a great movie. With Eternals, they've kind of skewed a little bit, and that could be because of the choice of director. Even though Chloe Zhao brought some really lovely things to the table, it definitely had a different speed, a different vibe, so we'll see. It's a decent enough addition to the MCU, but again, not one that people are going to flip out on, I don't think. Will be some who love it, but overall, it's falling a little lower on the list of great MCU movies. All right, that is it for my review today. I hope that if you watch this movie that you do enjoy it, and be sure and comment down below. Let me know. Be sure and comment down below and let me know what you think of the movie after you finish watching it. Also, when you've got a minute, follow me on Instagram at Movie Review Mom and join our group on Facebook called, you guessed it, Movie Review Mom. Thanks for subscribing. Be sure and click like. That actually helps me a lot to grow my channel, and I really appreciate your support. Have a fantastic day, time at the movies. Be safe and healthy out there, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.